I got to bring Big O in. Big O, I've been following your man, Oscar. I see your Instagram. You always got interesting videos. I'm like, man, I didn't know that. I've been doing this 35 years. I'm like, but that's the nice thing. We're always something to learn and grow. Oscar, what was your transition? What made you like? Because educators that's a different breed. Like my daughter is a teacher. It takes a different cut of a cloth for teachers. We got a lot of teachers on campus here. What drove you to say, hey, I'm going to get in this education side because that's where I want to live? What was the driving force for you on that?
The craziest part on that, man, was my mentor, Don Wilson, who it's a crazy story, man. I go to technical school, and then I get a phone call about a year later from my instructor, and he's like, hey, you were doing good while helping out in labs. You ever thought about teaching? I think that was the largest laugh other than hanging out with John and laughing all the time that I laughed so hard about it. And I said, I never thought about that. So he gave me the opportunity to come in and shadow him as an educator. And a lot of what I knew when I started training was because of him. And he's the one who always told me that, he was willing to put in the time to teach me as long as I was willing to pay it forward. And that's what led to my transition from an automotive technician to an educator. And then in 2014, I took the giant leap and went full education. And I think that was the best thing that I could have ever done. And that's what led to my why of bettering the automotive industry, one technician at a time. Anybody willing to listen to me, I'm willing to teach them whatever I know.
Yeah, your approach really simplifies some of what really is complex underhood goings-ons, and the industry is grateful to have you. And I know one element that you bring that I think was a transition for a lot of educators is how to use social media effectively, right? How do I need to get some brand reach, even as educators. I think there was a post up on LinkedIn with a bunch of industry heavyweight educators, and it was all like, we can teach it, but how do we get folks in? And that's outside of the great work that you see on the coasts, right? Or at Vision in Kansas City, or ASTA now, Lucas Underwood out there and the rest of the tribe. How do we do these like micro environments where, as John said, it's and I like in Texas, and it's and people coming from all over to Texas. I think social media has helped you out tremendously. Oscar, can you share with others? They don't have to be educators. They don't even have to be in the automotive industry. What do you find that works? Because it seems like social media is like quick and fast on these reels. What's helped you build your audience to get them in the chairs learning? What's helped you there?
I feel one of the things that's helped me is breaking things down as simplistic as possible, and then also making things relatable. So every time that I make an explanation about any type of topic, I want to make it as relatable as possible. So this way, the person on the other end gets that aha moment or that click, and that's what's going to get them to where I capture them. They're going to watch it, and then hopefully they follow and keep going with the content that we're putting out. The thing that I try to focus on the most is typically subjects that I see my students have a hard time with in class, or when people reach out to me for specific tips and tricks. That's usually topics that if I feel they reached out, somebody else might have that one, and then that's when I'll put a video together, a 60-second clip, or sometimes a long-form video for YouTube, and then put it out so this way I can help out as many people as I can.
Oscar, give us your social handles so we can get a ton of folks to follow you on your Instagram. Primarily, that's where you're at, Instagram, and of course YouTube. What's the Instagram handle?
So my Instagram handle is ASC Master Tech 909. And that's where you guys will find me on Instagram.
I'll have it in show notes for the podcast. John, tell people where they can find expert fishing tips from John, Buckaroo Bob out of Texas. Every time I see you're fishing, man, you're living it up out there in Texas.
I'm living it up, brother. I'm traveling all over the country, all over the world, matter of fact. I'm going back down to Amazon this year. Buckaroo Buck and Bob on Facebook, John Firm on Instagram and TikTok. And you're going to see a lot more of me. I'm coming back live compared to what I laid off for a year. I got my granddaughter raised up to about 2 years old now, so I'm ready to get back in the ball game and doing some videos and getting live and getting back in it. That's what I'm excited about.
Texas, twosteptraining.com. I had a vision. You said Amazon. You said I disappeared. It was like that portion of Conan the Barbarian where almost
that's what I'm thinking.
Schwarzenegger, he was beaten down, and then they came and they meditated and they poured all kinds of sage and juice on his body, and he came back strong. Is that you, John?
I can't bring no more power than what I'm bringing now to the table with the teachers and the trainers that I've got. I've got the rock stars of our industry going to be here.
Well, listen, brother, I've worked with you side by side legislatively.
Yes, sir.
I've always admired you. You're the first to show up. You got a big, beautiful heart. You said powerhouse. I got a segue. Powerhouse.
Yes,
man,
sir.
oh, man.
Yep.
Rick White. We're going to now talk about shop owners. Owners, listen, they lie to themselves. Let's be real. We lie to ourselves. We think it's all rosy. Our people look at us, think we're crazy. Like, what is he on? This thing is leaking. That we need another piece of equipment. I don't get enough training. Rick White is the real deal, as he's a renowned expert in the auto repair industry, over 30 years. Tell the people, if they're on the fence, they want to go to Houston, they want to go to Texas. Why would they Why would they see Rick White?
Rick White will bring, Rick has been my coach for the last 4 years. What a difference in my life when I started coaching with Rick. He reduced my stress level by 100%, increased my knowledge of how to run my business and get out of my business and put the right people in place that I can be assured that they're doing a great and positive work for me. The coach like Rick brings knowledge to the table from thousands of other people that he's helped in our industry get to where they are today.
All right, listen, I got to interrupt. The average driver right now who's getting ready to get some service at the dealer tomorrow, or they're getting ready to maybe come in my garage, they have no clue. What stress, give me two of your biggest stresses that Rick White or any other, we have a lot of good coaching in the industry. What stresses did you have?
Finding the right person to run your business that you can trust and count on to be there day after day and do the same thing that you would. Be honest and dependable. That was the number one thing. Number two thing is to learn how to charge properly for the value that you're delivering. Don't overcharge and don't undercharge, but do the right thing and deliver the type of value that you promise.
I mean, it's as simple as that. But however, it takes consistency, and where we fall apart is behavior. And I think those of you that own service operations, specifically, we're talking automotive collision shops, automotive service centers, like you don't know it all. And then what happens is you spew it out in your lifestyle. And I've always said that, like, what are you building a business for? Most people that have not been in business and say, well, I want to make money. I want to make money. But then what do you just
how?
Well, not only that, but what about your lifestyle? What about the time with your kids? I missed the first 5 years of my daughter's life because the fact is I was in business. Big shot.
Yeah. I was a business guy, the mechanic trying to be a business guy.
Right. I seen you. Your hands were big and bulgy, working on diesels. Now you over at Lila's getting your nails done. You are just living the life. Clean hands.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing. I'm living the life, brother.
People, listen, that's what they do. It happens to me. They said, Frank, you work on cars, your hands are silky smooth. I said, well, I got a good team.
Good team, man. I got people in place.
Well,
I don't have to do that like I used to.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can educate them and advance them where they'll move up in my business. And they don't work on the cars no more.
That's right. You mentioned good points. And, I mean, that could be a whole big round table. Rick White, 180 Biz, also works through the WorldPAC Training Institute, does a lot of courses.
Yes, he does.
If you're listening, whether this is on the replay or whatnot, I don't care who you are. I know you got problems. I got problems.
Yeah.
We all have problems. And the idea is that, are we trying to, be totally problem-free? Probably not. But do we want to minimize the risk, anxiety? Holy cow, only sleep 2 hours a night. Some of you don't sleep at all. Like if you're at that, I don't sleep at all and I own a business stage. You need training.
Reach out to me, man. Call me.
That's
Let
awesome.
me get you going.
Texas, twosteptraining.com.
Yes,
in Texas.
Start this weekend. We kick off Saturday in Houston, Texas. We run over to Beaumont. We'll be there Tuesday, Thursday, we'll wind up in Tyler, Texas, and we'll wrap this thing up March the 29th at Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas Star Golf Course.
Yeah, I want to get Big O as we have a few minutes left. Big O, Oscar Gomez, get back on here. Oscar, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm a shop owner. I need a scan tool. I need something to communicate properly. I know there's a variety, and it's a big question. Man, Oscar, I want to come see you, but I can't make it. My daughter's got lacrosse or what have you, and I want to come to your next one. But right now, my need is a scan tool, and I'm working on, let's just keep it simple. I'm working on Asian vehicles. Can you give recommendations? Because I do have younger shop owners right now. They're on a budget. It's tight. They want training, but let's help them in the service bays. Give me two scanners that you just are fans of if I'm working on Asian vehicles.
Absolutely. One of my top would, brand-wise, I'd probably tell you guys to go to Launch. And then my second one would be the Top Scan Pro. This is a Bluetooth dongle. You can work on any phone, iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. You got manufacturer specific. You got generic OBD2. I'm throwing out some fancy terms there. And gives you full reporting, does a mobilizer, maintenance resets, and the best part, it's $120.
I knew you were going to say that's why I set you up, and I'll get some hate because I know some of you got $100,000 in scan tools and factory, but we do have younger operators. We got that technician that worked 20 years at the dealer, and he's on his own. He's got a little one bay. Now he understands scanners. I'm being a little silly with it, but I find that is one thing in interpreting data. If budget's tight, we end up getting the wrong stuff because we're shortchanged. I wish I'd have redone that back in the mid-'90s with my first shop. And so Launch is healthy for the budget. And the second one, say again?
The Top Scan.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Big O on Instagram. You can catch him. He's teaching you. Why is the exhaust running rich? I love what you're doing, and it's a beautiful world that we're in. I wish this was around back in the mid-'90s. We were reading magazines, nothing against the magazines. Internet was in its infancy. There's absolutely no reason you are a poor excuse of an individual if you're in the automotive industry and you run an automotive service facility and you're not getting training for yourself and your people. Poor excuse. Go feel guilty. I will make you feel guilty. You need training. We got close to 100 million lines of code on these vehicles. Don't call me a mechanic, technician. I'm a network engineer, and I watch Oscar Gomez's videos, and he helps me.
That's right, man.
Yeah, you guys are doing great things. John Firm, thanks for putting this up. That's the second year. Texas2steptraining.com. I won't make it this time, but I'll be out there. I'm passionate about our industry.
Well, next year we'll be going down to center part of Texas. We'll be doing Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin, and San Antonio. That's our cities for next year.
I need a good Texas beverage and then some good training. Texas two-step training. Brother. Yes, sir. You guys rock. Thank you. I know this was last minute. And please, if you're listening to the replay, Texas2steptraining.com for more details. John Firm and Big O, Oscar Gomez, thank you so much for joining Wrench Nation.